I know that you all love to crochet with super soft chenille yarn, just like me, and there are so many options out there that it can get overwhelming. I also know that you hate when they fray and all the fluff gets everywhere, especially on your clothes because it sticks to them. And I also know that you hate it when you can't even make a magic circle with the yarn that you're using because either it snaps immediately or the fluff just doesn't allow it for like a clean cinch. So in this video, I'll be reviewing 4 types of chenille or like chunkier yarn, all in the super bulky size 6. And they are going to be, number 1 is the Premier Parfait Chunky yarn. Number 2 is the Baby Snuggles yarn from Hobbii. Number 3 is the Bernat Blanket yarn. And number 4 is this Loops and Threads Sweet Snuggles Lite yarn. These are more accessible to me at the moment. And they're also the ones that I use more often. But if there are any other brands that you guys would like for me to review, please let me know and I can get those yarns and do that for another video. Okay, so this is the 4 types of yarn we're going to be working with today. Let me introduce you to each one of them. Let's start with the Bernat Baby Blanket yarn. This is from Yarnspirations. I'll show you the size. So as you can see, it says super bulky 6 and it's made with 100% polyester. Next we have the Baby Snuggles from Hobbii. This is also 100% polyester. Looking for the size, it's a super bulky 6 right here. And then we have the Premier Parfait Chunky, also 100% polyester and super bulky 6 as well. And then the Sweet Snuggles Lite from Loops and Threads, also super bulky 6 and 100% polyester. We're first going to start with a fraying test, and this first one is the Bernat Blanket yarn. So, oh, it already frayed. I'm just going to hold it like this and I'm going to pull about 20 times and see how much comes off. I like to do this test so that I know how much mess I'll be making every time I crochet. But even though I don't like fraying yarn, I still use them for my projects because I just find them to be super soft, and so I just kind of vacuum it every time I finish crocheting, and I've gotten used to it so it doesn't really bother me too much anymore. But yeah, so I don't know how many times I've done this, but it's not too crazy at all. Like, it's very manageable, not too bad. And I do think for the longest time I've been using Bernat Blanket yarn. It's always been super strong and I haven't had any issues with it. So that's Bernat Blanket. Next, this is the Premier Parfait Chunky yarn. Do the same thing. This does feel skinnier than the Bernat Blanket, but it's definitely softer. Already frayed. So it's definitely fraying more than the Bernat Blanket. And as you can see, look how much has already come off, because you can see the white part of the yarn. Oh, now that we're here, it's actually really easy to remove everything now. Okay, I'm gonna stop right here. Very easy to fray, and look how much came off. It's all right here. So not the best in terms of the fraying. Next we have the Baby Snuggles yarn from Hobbii. Very similar size to the Premier Parfait Chunky. It feels a little bit softer though. Okay, I feel like it's gonna fray a lot too. Yep. Oh, it's even worse. Okay. This is the one that I use often, and then it just frays and then I have to vacuum every single time. But I like it because it's soft. Okay, there's no need to keep going. You guys can tell that it's the worst so far. Let's move on to the last one. Last is the Sweet Snuggles Lite yarn by Loops and Threads. This is thicker than the last 2, but I think it's more similar to the Bernat Blanket, but not as thick. It has the same texture as the Premier Parfait though, and the Hobbii. I think this is the softest probably. Okay. This, I think, feels worse than the Baby Snuggles, just because I can feel the clumps coming off really quickly. Like, look at this. And they don't come in small pieces, they come in larger chunks. So it's more concerning that way. Anyway, so out of all four, the Bernat Blanket would be the best if you care a lot about the fraying. Now it's time to do the magic circle test. We're gonna start with the Bernat Blanket yarn. I'll just do a normal magic circle and put 6 single crochets inside and see how it cinches. Okay, by the way, I'm using the 6.5mm hook for all 4 of these, so just so that they're all even, because they are claiming to be the same size, which is super bulky 6. Okay, let me take the tail and pull. Nice, it's pretty clean, nothing was fraying the whole time. Not much of a difficulty. So yeah, it's pretty good. Next is the Premier Parfait Chunky yarn. Okay, let me hold this and pull. Okay, pretty good as well. Okay, we gotta go tighter. Yeah, I feel like there's a chance that it could snap, so you just have to be very careful when pulling. But as you can see, it's pretty good. Bernat was better though so far. Next we have the Baby Snuggles. Okay, now time to pull. Okay, pretty good as well. Similar to the Premier Parfait Chunky. But as I'm crocheting this, it does feel a bit softer. Like softer than the Premier yarn. Last but not the least, we have the Sweet Snuggles Lite. Okay, time to cinch. Oh, I had a little bit of a difficulty in the beginning. And look, it's not fully cinched yet, but I do feel like it stopped somewhere here. If I keep going, it's going to snap. But let me keep trying. Try pulling. Okay, I probably shouldn't force it. So the Sweet Snuggles Lite is not very good in terms of the magic circle. You might want to make your stitches looser so that it's easier to close, or you just opt for the alternative of the magic circle, which is just 2 chains instead of making the magic ring. Okay, so I went ahead and made them all into their own perfect balls so that we can compare the sizes and the softness as well. Let's start with the Bernat Blanket. This is how it looks like, and this is the Sweet Snuggles Lite. And I'm going to put these two together because they are pretty much the same size. In terms of softness, however, the Sweet Snuggles Lite is much softer than the Bernat, but the Bernat feels much more sturdy. And I think I like the quality of the Bernat Blanket yarn much better. Now moving on to the smaller balls, as you can see, this is the Baby Snuggles by Hobbii yarn, and this is the Premier Parfait Chunky yarn. Now, for all 4 of these, I did use a 6.5mm hook because they all claim to be super bulky size 6, so I just wanted to use the same hook size for every single one. However, these two, as you can tell, are significantly smaller than these two. They are about the same size, but I find that the Hobbii Baby Snuggles yarn is much softer. And for these two, I wouldn't use a 6.5mm hook. I would probably use something smaller because as you can see there are gaps in the stitches, so stuffing could easily come out of these. In terms of pricing, this is $14.99 Canadian for 300 grams. The Sweet Snuggles Lite is $11.99 for 250 grams. The Premier Parfait Chunky yarn is $5.99 for 100 grams. And the Hobbii Baby Snuggles yarn is $13.50 for 100 grams. So these are in Canadian dollars. Now, if we're just going by grams, the most expensive would be Hobbii yarn. Although they do pricing differently in their website, like you can do bulk pricing, so it gets cheaper the more that you buy. But this is definitely the most expensive one, and the cheapest would be the Sweet Snuggles Lite by Loops and Threads. They're also packaged differently. The skeins of these two are much smaller than these. Overall, I think my favorite would be the Bernat Blanket, just because there's always consistency in the quality, the size, and the fraying is a lot less than the other three. My second, though, would probably be the Sweet Snuggles because they're about the same size anyway. There's just a lot of fraying, but I like that it's much cheaper and much softer. So that is it for the Chenille yarn review. Let me know in the comments which ones you use, which ones you like, which ones are your favorites, and which other brands you're curious about. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.